This video is for my dear American friends. You guys know how much I love you, how much I have enjoyed going to school with you, working with you, volunteering with you, going to church with you, and even saving lives with you in this beautiful pro-life ministry. Of course, I had to make this video in English because this is for you. So please excuse my horrible accent. My 9-year-old has been trying to fix it for the last several years, and I think she finally just gave up. I have decided to name this video Immigration 101 because I have realized how little we all know about this topic and how important it is that we all know the basics. Ever since Donald Trump started talking about a massive deportation, I heard people often saying, oh, the only ones that are going to be deported are the ones that are here undocumented or the ones that came here illegally. Like saying, don't worry about it. The only ones that are going to be deported are the bad ones. Well, I have news for you. The vast majority of Hispanic people that you know are undocumented. And yes, that means your coworker, that super nice neighbor of yours, that lady from church that you love so much, that awesome server from your favorite restaurant. They are probably all undocumented and in danger of being deported. And this is the reason why I wanted to talk about some important points about immigration, because when I've had conversations with you guys, I've learned a lot of how little this topic is known by my American friends. Number one, immigrants are human beings with infinite value and dignity. Number two, immigrants don't come to this country just for the heck of it, just because one day they just decide to come here. They have very good reasons to come to the United States. They don't come here just to break the law or to make people uncomfortable. Number four, they do not come here to take anything from you. Number five, they do pay their taxes. The only difference is they do not have a social security number or any official document, so they cannot get their tax return like we all do. So they pay, but they cannot get anything back. Most of them come here in very, very difficult conditions. They come here to escape from very difficult situations in their countries, because they do not all come from Mexico. They come from different countries, and usually escaping from violence, from poverty, from lack of opportunities. They cannot provide the basics for their families, so they rather come here and risk their lives rather to see their kids starve to death or being unable to go to school and get basic education. They are willing to risk their lives rather to stay there in their corrupt countries where nothing ever changes and nothing ever gets solved. Trust me, if they could come in a legal way, they would. There's no way they can do that, especially people from Mexico. In order to get a visa, you have to go to the American consulate, you have to pay a $150 fee, you have to go to an interview, and then have to be approved for a visa. For poor Mexican families, it is nearly impossible to get one. And even if they do, that is just a tourist visa. That would only allow them to come here and stay for a few weeks or a few months, and then they would have to go back home. They are not allowed to work with that visa. Many of them apply, make a huge sacrifice to pay those $150. They get denied of the visa, and they don't even get their money back. For a poor Mexican family, $150 is a lot of money. With no visa, they have to come here in very, very difficult conditions. They are forced to cross the border between Mexico and the United States, and they risk their lives doing so. They have to walk through the desert. They have to hide from border patrol, from helicopters, from military dogs. Many times they have been shot by the border patrol. Many other times they have drowned in the Bravo River. Women and little girls are often raped when they try to come here that way. If they make it to the United States, once they are here, They work in very, very hard conditions. They take those jobs that no Americans want to take. And this means they have to work on the fields for many, many hours a day in very high temperatures. They have to be on their feet many, many hours a day, working on factories under horrible conditions with no law to protect them. They are many times taken advantage of. They are underpaid. Many times they barely make it, and they have very little money to send back to their families in Mexico or their countries. They always fear deportation. When they are deported and they have families here, they have had kids in the United States, they are separated from their families. Here's something very important that I want you to think about just for a second. You're a Christian, right? You know that Jesus was an immigrant himself. His parents took him to Egypt to escape from the king that wanted to kill him. So they probably broke the immigration laws too, who knows? They also went to a different country without knowing the language, without a visa, without any immigration documents. The same way my Hispanic brothers and sisters come here illegally to save their kids, Jesus' parents did the same thing to save him. If we compare this issue with abortion, there's some thoughts that we need to consider. We all know that people that support abortion, they have already been born. The same way that people that discriminate or reject immigrants, they have already found a land to call home, a land where they feel safe, a land where they can work and provide for their families. Let's go back to our point number one, the most important one, the one that we often forget. Immigrants are human beings with infinite value and dignity. Before rejecting, discriminating, or hating immigrants, think a little bit of what we've said in this video. And please, please pray for these families. They leave everything behind in search for a worthy life. Would you be able to do the same? And I just want to say one more thing. If my husband's temporary protection status gets canceled for whatever reason, we'll have to say goodbye and we'll have to leave. We're not worried. We have faith. We are the lucky ones that came here without risking their lives or without fearing deportation. We know we're going to be okay. Just pray for us and pray for all your brothers and sisters. We love you. God bless America.